To discuss this more, I'm joined from Washington by Dr. Webster Tarpley, author and historian. Welcome to the programme, sir. Dr. Tarpley, first of all, what do you understand from this idea to impose a no-fly zone on Syria? I mean, what do you think the intention is behind it?
Well, of course, this is what was used to destroy the government of Colonel Gaddafi in Libya and break up the country. We should remember that a no-fly zone means something much more ambitious. It means a prolonged, sustained, protracted campaign of aerial bombardment in the country. They have to destroy all the military airfields, destroy the entire anti-aircraft defense system, destroy the missile batteries. Syria is widely reputed to have some pretty serious air defense, some of it supplied by Russia. So it would be a rather intense bombing campaign of several days. And, of course, we know NATO. We know how NATO operates. Once they had finished destroying the air defense, assuming they succeeded, which they might not, or they might find that the losses were excessive and some countries might even start to drop out, they would then go on to bomb military barracks, armored vehicles, and all the things that we saw about a year ago in Libya. So this is simply a plan for aggression. It was brought up by Brennan, the White House terror czar, I guess, in a speech at the Council on Foreign Relations. And it was also discussed by Hillary Clinton when she was in Turkey this past weekend. So it's an idea. The desperation of the U.S. regime is that Assad was supposed to be brought down in July, right? The July 18th terror attack to decapitate the Syrian armed forces, the shipping in of thousands and thousands of new death squad members from many other countries, an attack on the currency, the television warfare, the entire campaign. And that has now failed. And as far as we can see from the outside, the death squads have been driven out of many parts of Aleppo. So the death squads, once again, are losing, and the Syrian government is still there. So the U.S. and the British and the French and indeed the Israelis are now apoplectic. And that's what you see with Fabius. I would call attention to the language you just cited when he says the Syrian regime should be smashed fast and Assad doesn't deserve to be on this earth. This is a language we haven't heard in Europe since the fascist era. This is the language of a fascist dictatorship. And, well, Fabius is not quite that yet, but you get the idea. It's going in that direction.
So in the foreseeable future, what do you think will we will see in terms of how the situation in Syria will develop?
Well, the U.S. and its cohorts have now succeeded in putting an end to the mission of the United Nations observers. This was much deplored by the Russian delegate at the United Nations, and the Russian Foreign Ministry has issued a statement saying that this decision ought to be reviewed. There really ought to be United Nations observers inside Syria. Otherwise, the results might be disastrous. And some commentators here in the U.S. this morning were trying to make fun of that warning, saying, well, how could it get any worse? It could get a lot worse. It could turn into a regional war, and that regional war could turn into a world war. So I think the Russians are, of course, correct. You might as well have UN observers. I've been disappointed with what they've done, but fine. We should have UN observers. We've also got Lakhdar Brahimi of Algeria, who might have a chance of doing better than Kofi Annan. I think if you look at Lakhdar Brahimi's track record, he's probably more serious and more capable than Kofi Annan was. So I think that's worth waiting for. But otherwise, this is going to be fought out now. And the question is, do the Western powers have unlimited supplies of death squad fanatics, or do they not? And are these death squads getting decimated by the Syrian armed forces? Some international cable TV today was showing that the rebels essentially have child soldiers. The rebels have pressed child soldiers into military service, which of course is a violation of international law. But that might indicate that they're getting to the bottom of the barrel in terms of manpower. Because, again, there's not an infinite number of people who are willing to go out and risk their lives for this crazy cause.
All right, then, on that note, we'll leave it there. Many thanks, sir, to Dr. Webster Tarpley, author and historian from Washington. Thanks for your time there, sir.